Obama exited the White House. But did his influence truly fade? The wealth, the clout had never ceased. Elon Musk has now unveiled just how deep it runs. Tucker Carlson straightens his tie, leans in, his gaze piercing the camera. His tone is calm yet laden with gravity. The studio feels electric, charged with anticipation. Tonight, we uncover what's been hiding in plain sight. Something vast, entrenched in modern politics, so normalized that few dare to question it. But after tonight, you won't be able to look away. He pauses, letting the words resonate. We know ex-presidents write books, give speeches, buy estates in places most will never see. But what if that's just the tip of the iceberg? What if one former president has constructed a network far beyond imagination, leveraging influence, global ties, and wealth that, frankly, should raise alarms? He turns to his guest, Elon Musk. The camera shifts to Musk, seated calmly, his gaze sharp, aware of the bombshell he's about to drop. Tucker, let me be clear. Obama's post-presidency isn't just about book deals and speaking fees. It's about a system that allows public servants to walk away with fortunes rivaling tech billionaires. And the real question is, who's funding it? And what are they getting in return? Carlson nods, his brow furrowed. This isn't just about wealth, it's deeper. You're saying there's more to this than meets the eye. Musk exhales, shaking his head. Far more. People think politicians retire quietly, but they don't. They enter a new game, one where influence is the currency. And Obama? He's mastered it. The real story isn't his wealth. It's how he amassed it, who enabled him, and why. Carlson leans back, absorbing the weight of Musk's words. This conversation is building towards something explosive, something that could redefine how we see power in America. Musk isn't finished. The camera zooms in on Carlson's face, his expression a mix of focus and simmering intensity. Elon, let's cut to the chase. You're suggesting Obama's wealth isn't just from books or speeches. You're saying there's a machine behind him. What exactly are we dealing with? Musk takes a breath, his tone grave. It's not just money, Tucker. It's influence, long-term, global influence. Obama left office and, within years, became one of the most powerful private figures in the world. But how? The math doesn't add up. Carlson's eyes narrow. What doesn't add up? Musk leans forward. Let's start with real estate. A $12 million mansion in Martha's Vineyard, a DC estate, a Hawaii retreat. These aren't just homes, they're fortresses. And yet we're told it's all from book deals and speeches. I run billion-dollar companies, Tucker. Even I know that doesn't track. Carlson's eyebrows rise, but he stays silent. Musk continues. Obama's memoir deal? $65 million. Speaking fees? $400,000 per event. On paper, that's substantial. But when you factor in his lifestyle, investments, and global partnerships, it's clear. This isn't a man living off royalties. This is a man still playing the game at the highest level. So you're saying the book deals and speeches are just a front? Musk smirks faintly. A distraction. The real money comes from private deals, global partnerships, and alliances with the wealthiest, most powerful people on Earth. Carlson interjects. And you have proof of this? Musk nods. I've seen the patterns. Shell companies, offshore investments. But it's not just paper trails. It's about connections, who he meets, where he goes, the industries he suddenly takes an interest in. Tucker, this isn't just about Obama. It's about a system that lets ex-politicians profit at levels that should be illegal. Carlson exhales, his face hardening. This isn't just about wealth, it's about power. And Musk isn't done. Tucker, Obama didn't retire. He repositioned. Most ex-presidents fade away. Obama? He's still shaping policy, still influencing industries tied to his old donors. Carlson leans in. Give me an example. Musk doesn't hesitate. Tech, green energy, media. Industries where influence is priceless. Look at who he meets. Who benefits from his quiet lobbying? Silicon Valley Tucker, the same people who made billions off government contracts during his presidency, are still funding him, still opening doors. Carlson's lips tighten. So the speeches, the books, they're just a facade? Musk nods. A smokescreen. The real money comes from boardrooms, private jets, and closed-door meetings with billionaires. And that's where the power lies. Not in royalties, but in deals and influence. Carlson sits back, his expression grim. This isn't just about one man's wealth. It's about a system designed to keep the public in the dark while power brokers operate unchecked. And Musk has one final revelation. Carlson looks at him, his voice low. You're saying Obama's influence didn't end when he left the White House? That he's still pulling strings? The screen fades back in, but the tone has shifted. The studio is darker now, the shadows longer, as if the weight of the conversation has physically altered the space. Carlson sits forward, his hands clasped tightly, his voice quieter but no less intense. Let's be clear about what we're really talking about here, he begins, his words measured but cutting. This isn't just about one man or even one presidency. It's about a blueprint, a playbook that's been perfected over decades, if not centuries. A playbook that ensures the powerful stay powerful, while the rest of us are left fighting for scraps. He pauses, letting the words sink in. Think about it. We're told that elections matter, that our votes shape the future. But what if that's just an illusion? What if the real decisions, the ones that shape economies, wars, and the flow of information, are made far away from the ballot box, in boardrooms and private islands and undisclosed locations, where the public has no access, no voice, no power? The camera tightens on his face, the lines of frustration and resolve etched deeply. Elon Musk didn't come here tonight to attack one person. He came here to expose a system that thrives on secrecy, on distraction, on keeping the truth just out of reach. And the truth is this: the people we elect to serve us are often serving someone else entirely. Carlson's voice grows sharper, more urgent. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't some wild, unfounded accusation. This is the reality of how power works in the modern world. And if we don't confront it, if we don't demand transparency, accountability, and real change, then nothing will ever change. The game will go on, the players will rotate, and the rest of us will be left wondering why nothing ever seems to get better. He leans back slightly, his tone shifting, as if he's speaking directly to the audience now. So here's the question. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep scrolling? Keep tuning out? Keep telling yourself that it's too big, too complicated, too far out of your control? Or are you going to start asking questions, start demanding answers, start holding the people in power accountable for what they've done and what they're still doing? The screen cuts to a montage. Images of opulent mansions, private jets, handshakes between politicians and billionaires, protesters in the streets, and ordinary people working, struggling, trying to make ends meet. The contrast is stark, deliberate, a visual representation of the divide Musk and Carlson have been dissecting all night. Carlson's voice returns, this time as a voiceover. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed to. But that doesn't mean it has to stay this way. Change doesn't start in the halls of power. It starts with you, with us, refusing to accept the status quo, refusing to be silenced, and refusing to let the powerful rewrite the rules while the rest of us pay the price. The montage ends, and the camera returns to Carlson, his expression resolute. Tonight, we've pulled back the curtain. We've shown you how the game is played. But the question remains, what are you going to do now that you know? The screen fades to black one final time, but the words linger, stark and unflinching. The truth isn't just something you know, it's something you do. And then, in smaller text, share this, talk about it, demand answers. The future depends on it. The credits roll, but the weight of the conversation hangs in the air long after the screen goes dark. This isn't just a segment on a news show. It's a call to action, a challenge to everyone watching to stop being spectators and start being participants in the fight for transparency, accountability, and a system that truly serves the people. Because if there's one thing Musk and Carlson have made clear tonight, it's this. The game is rigged, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Not if we refuse to play along. The screen flickers back to life, but this time it's not the studio. It's a series of rapid clips, crowds gathering in cities across the country, people holding signs, chanting, demanding answers. Social media feeds explode with hashtags. Number expose these system, number who rules us, number power unchecked. The montage is chaotic, urgent, alive with energy. A voiceover begins, but it's not Carlson this time. It's a mix of voicesmen, women, young, old, each one adding to the chorus. We see it now. We know how it works. We're not going to look away. The screen cuts to a split image. On one side, a lavish fundraiser, politicians and billionaires laughing, glasses raised. On the other, a single mother working 2 jobs, her face etched with exhaustion. The contrast is brutal, undeniable. The voiceover continues, this time with Carlson's voice. This isn't about left or right. It's not about red or blue. It's about power, who has it, who abuses it, and who pays the price. The screen shifts again, this time to a series of headlines. Former politicians earn millions in private sector. Global elites gather at secret summit. Public trust in government at all-time low. Each headline flashes faster and faster until they blur into a single, overwhelming message. The system is rigged. Then, silence. The screen goes black, and for a moment, there's nothing but the faint hum of static. When the image returns, it's Carlson again, but he's not in the studio. He's standing in front of the Capitol building, the dome lit up against the night sky. His coat is pulled tight against the cold, his breath visible in the air. I'm here tonight because this isn't just a story, he says, his voice steady but charged with emotion. It's a reckoning. For too long, we've been told to trust the system, to believe that those in power have our best interests at heart. But what happens when the system betrays us? What happens when the people we elect become the people we fear? He pauses, looking directly into the camera. Elon Musk came on my show tonight, not to attack one man, but to expose a truth that's been hiding in plain sight. A truth that should anger you. A truth that should motivate you. Because if we don't confront this, if we don't demand change, then nothing will ever change. The camera pulls back, revealing a crowd gathering behind him. They're holding signs, their faces lit by the glow of their phones. Some are filming, others are chanting, but all of them are united by a single, unshakable resolve. They've seen the truth, and they're not backing down. Carlson turns to face them, his voice rising. This is where it starts. Not in the halls of power, but in the streets, in the towns, in the hearts of people who refuse to be silenced. This is your moment. This is our moment. And it's not going to be easy. The people in power don't give it up willingly. But if we stand together, if we demand transparency, accountability, and a system that works for everyone, not just the elite, then we can take it back. The crowd erupts in cheers, their voices echoing through the night. Carlson steps back, letting the moment breathe, letting the energy of the crowd carry the message. The screen cuts to one final image, a single word, bold and unflinching, against a black background, and then, in smaller text beneath it, the future isn't something we wait for, it's something we build. Share this. Talk about it. Demand change. The credits roll, but the message lingers, a call to action that refuses to be ignored. This isn't just the end of a segment, it's the beginning of a movement. And it starts with you.